Fields, and I think it's one of the year's very best, telling the true story of a dedicated newspaper man in Cambodia during the 1970s and the latter part of the Vietnam War, and how he learns on both a grand and an intimate scale the horror of the undeclared war in neighboring Cambodia, a war that killed more than 2 million people there. The journalist is New York Times correspondent Sidney Schanberg, and among the frightening things he sees are when an American bomber goes off target and destroys innocent Cambodians, and later when communist Khmer Rouge forces also begin bombing the countryside.
He doesn't know how many they expect an attack today.
Where's your commander? What's he doing there?
No.
How many mortar rounds do you have?
Rocco, get your ass out of here! Get out of here! Come on, let's get him out of here.
I'm not happy here, Sid. John, I'm leaving. Sid, come on.
That was Sam Waterston and Sidney Schanberg there at the very end with the white shirt and shoulder bag. And that is just part of the Killing Fields, the war story. The rest of this film deals with the friendship between Schanberg and a Cambodian journalist, also in that scene at the end there, who works as a translator and guide for him. The Cambodian's name is Dith Pran, and as the threat of violence in Cambodia increases and the Americans prepare to flee, including reporter Schanberg, he asks Pran if he too would like to leave his homeland.
They think that a lot of people are going to get killed. A lot of people. All right, I've arranged for the evacuation of you and your family. So now it's up to you. What do you want to do? Do you want to stay or do you want to leave?
And how about you?
That's none of your business. Do you want to stay or do you want to leave?
I know. You love my family, Sidney. But me, I'm reporter too, Sidney. You know what I mean?
And so Pran decides to stay. But other reporters question the reason for that decision, suggesting that Schanberg selfishly influenced Pran to stay.
Sidney, why didn't you get him out when you had the chance? You had no right to keep him here. Morgan, you had a funny sense of priorities.
I'm reporter too, Morgan. I know his heart. I love him like my brother. And I do anything for him. Anything. Goodbye. Tell my wife I love her. I look after all my children. She doesn't speak any English with me. Please, I don't want anyone to be bad to my wife.
And so he walks away knowing that Schanberg and his family will be leaving for safety in America. The Killing Fields is a major film experience for a couple of reasons. First of all, it's been filmed by director Roland Jaffe in a most realistic TV news manner. Second, the film works as a thriller because it now begins to follow Pran as he tries to stay alive in Cambodia after all of his friends and family have left, including Schanberg. And Pran is hunted and captured by pro-communist Cambodians, and we wonder if he'll survive. And then finally, The Killing Fields has something very important to say about the way white cultures devalue people of color, be they yellow, red, or black. During the course of this film, we get the feeling that much of this horror is taking place on such a grand scale with the world ignoring it and letting it go on because a lot of people simply don't care that a lot of short, yellow people are dying in mass numbers. Because of that insight, The Killing Fields is both a strong drama and a fine piece of reporting.
And I'm in complete agreement with you. I thought it was a very good movie, and I also think that it will be on my list of the 10 best films of the year. It's opening right now in Los Angeles, New York, Toronto, and places like that.
Yeah.
To establish itself for Academy Award consideration, then opens in the rest of the country, I guess, after the Christmas.
Well, I'll tell you, one person of the nominees that I think would come out of this would be Sam Waterston as the reporter. There wasn't, you and I are both newspaper people. Not for a minute did I doubt that he wasn't really a newspaper
really
man
good
on the
performance.
screen.
There is one thing about the film that I will observe. There have been two earlier films about people who were left behind in Vietnam, The Deer Hunter and Uncommon Valor. And in both of those cases, the drama comes when somebody goes back to get that friend or that son that he's left behind.
Right.
In this film, there is a dramatic glitch right there in the middle because Schomburg doesn't go back. He stays in New York.
Right.
He writes, he says, I must have written 400 letters. Well, that isn't good enough. And then we cut to Cambodia, and we see the Cambodian getting out or doing what he has to do on his own. And so oddly enough, there's no fictional machinery there to keep that middle going except for our intrinsic interest in the character.
But that's the point, which is that we spend time following a Cambodian rather than the great white figure who comes in, and that's part of the message of this film.
It does make it more convincing and more realistic than if we felt the plot machinery were kicking in.
If it was a white man saving a yellow man, it'd be the same old story and the same old problem in movie terms that this film is trying to solve.
So how about a nomination for the Cambodian, too? I thought really he was the lead even more than Waterston.
He certainly takes over the second half of the film. Very well, good job. We were back in agreement on the Cambodian drama, The Killing Fields, and finally,